I'd like to welcome you to another exciting episode of, what's this called again? Oh, Thereywood Squares, that's right. I'm your host with the least, Francis Seven. And I'd like to thank tonight's special sponsors. Tonight is sponsored by Banshee and ZMW. And I had a chance to check out the wonderful car, but one of our contestants will be driving away in a wonderful ZMW this evening. Hopefully it won't be Zach, as he's sitting next to me.
Well, it's not his car. It was
the car's being
from Steve Mack from the garage.
It's not a ZMW either. It's a Greenville.
Well, then I guess everything I needed to know wasn't on the scroll in front of me.
No, I'm sorry. I only just got a car.
It's quite all right. We'd also like to say special thanks to all the MAB and ex-MAB members for both playing and being our celebrity squares. And each one of them is a celebrity.
Yes, Banshee and I have Steve Mack surrounded. Yeah.
They're closing in on you, Steve. All right. Traditionally, we start off with Giggles right over here. So, Giggles, which one of our wonderful celebrity MAB members would you like to call upon first to answer a question for you?
I'm gonna have to wake Bryant out of his slumber.
Bryant, wakey, nap time's over.
I'm awake.
Fantastic. Now, Bryant, name the band that was formed in 1973 by former Santana band members Neil Sloan and Greg Rowley.
Neil Sean.
They say it
Greg Rowley.
Oh.
My husband cried.
I was actually a teenager in 1973, and I know the answer to this. It was the Marshall Tucker Band.
The Marshall Tucker Band. Would you agree or disagree there, Giggles?
He was hardly a teenager in 1973.
That was a disagree?
That was a disagree, and that would be a good disagreement because the actual band we were looking for was called Journey. So Circle gets our first square. Moving over to Zach. Zach, which one of these wonderful MAB members would you like to call upon next?
Is that Steve in the middle?
That is he.
Let's go with Steve.
Steve, ready for your question?
I'm always ready.
All right, Steve. Name the Los Angeles-based band originally named Mammoth that was formed by a pair of brothers in 1972. Once again, name the Los Angeles-based band originally named Mammoth that was formed by a pair of brothers in 1972.
I also was a teenager at that time. And that band was, if I remember correctly, it's a little hazy, Van Halen.
Van Halen. Would you agree or disagree, Zach?
You know, these are way before my time, so I have no clue. I'm just going to blanketly disagree.
Ooh, unfortunately, Van Halen was originally named Mammoth and formed by a pair of brothers in 1972. So, Circle gets the square.
Dude.
I've never even heard of that band.
I never even heard of 1972.
I understand it's still under NDA. All right. Moving on. Giggles. Which one of us?
I was like 2 years old in 1972.
I suppose your parents would have had to sign the NDA for you then. Giggles, which one of the remaining wonderful MAB members, gee, are you going to call upon next?
I think I'll take you to Crystal for the win.
All right.
Zach, I am me.
Hey, Zach, I think Gabby wants you to I am him. Or her. I need another drink of Flaming Bananas. Flaming Bananas, delicious and nutritious. Get one in your cafe today. They're only slightly addictive. All right. Unicrystal, ready for your question?
Ready.
Guitar virtuoso, I can't say virtuoso, but I can say his name. Guitar virtuoso Joe Satriani briefly played with this band, whose hits included Jeopardy and The Breakup Song.
Let me think about that one. I was fairly older, and I remember Joe Satriani. The band was the Greg Kinn Band.
The what?
The Greg Kinn Band?
The Greg Kinn Band. Would you agree or disagree?
I'll, agree.
And you would be absolutely correct.
Woohoo!
So, believe it or else, this is probably the shortest win we've ever had in history.
Woohoo!
Circle gets the square for the win. That completes our first round of the game, and while Gabby continues to IM Zaxi and clears the board of spent letters, it's time to check in with our wonderful MAB celebrities, and they'll tell us what they've been up to in there recently. We'll start with Angelus up in the top left.
Oh, what have I been up to recently? What haven't I been up to recently? I've been running my Spades Club into the ground. Being harassed by staff because I name my events things that are questionable.
Moving on. Banshee Kate, aside from sponsoring this wonderful event, what have you been up to in there recently? Yeah, okay. See you in a second. Oops. That's fine. We're interviewing all the people.
Well, hi there. I have not been up to very much because, to tell you the truth, I broke my foot taking my husband to the ER last week. And, yes, coming out of the hospital, broke my foot, and so I am not up to very much. No news this week from Salon Banshee, sorry to say. Thanks for the sympathy.
Do you want me to come down there and rub your foot for you, honey?
Sorry to hear about that, cuz.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry to hear about that, Kate.
Ouch. Brian, tell us what you've been up to recently.
Well, Francis, I recently got a great haircut. I'm gearing up for summer, and I'm working on my summer wardrobe.
So not one of those, like, blades on a vacuum cleaner kind of haircut. It's a real nice one.
Yeah, buzz cut.
Alrighty. E. Robert, what you been up to recently in there?
Well, most recently, trying to figure out who is this blockhead with his rear in my face.
That's probably one of the camera people taking a picture of you right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to make a move. I really am. I'm working on it.
You might want to cut that last part.
What? Technical difficulties.
Classic.
Something we're all used to in there. Steve Mack, tell us what you've been up to recently in there.
I've just been hanging out at Zephyr with Michael Wilson discussing politics.
So, business as usual, huh?
There you go.
Alright, Percy, what you been up to? Oops, I called the wrong person, I'm sorry.
Percy, did Percy fall asleep? It's really late for him. Wake up, Percy.
He said something about, is it time to panic yet? I don't know why he said that.
Is he the blockhead in the middle square up top?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully before he gets called on for a question, I can't see. Well, anyway, let's move on. Unicrystal, what have you been up to recently in there?
Other than teaching the 3 classes that I do at the UOT and starting, I'm going to be having a major fashion show that's going to be up in the There Fun Times, and with my students for graduation at the UOT on May 30th at about 8:30 Eastern Time, between 8:30 and 10:30 on May 30th. We're going to have a major Unicrystal Design and UOT students fashion show for spring and summer.
And if you don't know about the University of there yet, where have you been in there? Under a rock? Anyway, thank you very much. Moving on to our next person, Nima, what you been up to?
Oh, I've been doing a lot of quests, and I played in the spades tournament last night. I didn't do so good though. But you never know.
Coming down to Censure, what you been up to recently in there?
Well, just bought a neighborhood. I've been trying to get that up and running. That's about it.
What a coincidence. I bought one yesterday, too. Hey, is Percy back? Guess not. Zach, are you back? Can't hear us.
Percy says he can't hear.
Yeah, Percy can't hear.
I just invited Percy to join us in the zone I am.
Yay! Percy's talking.
Zach, can you hear me inside the square? The box thing? Yeah.
I could probably hear you inside the square if I had it open.
Oh,
There
no,
you
I
go.
suddenly
That
hear
helps.
I was in an IM. Sorry.
Zach is
wasn't
such a
me.
noob.
You might want to type. Can you IM Percy and ask Percy to go outside his zone and come back in again? That usually works for most people. I typed it in there. I'm not sure Percy saw it. Alrighty, we're ready to begin our second round, assuming no one actually wants to call on Percy. Okay, Giggles.
Ooh, I go first? Sorry, my dog was typing. Let's see here. I'll go with Angelica.
Jealous, ready for a question.
I hope so. Judging from the last question you asked me, I'm kind of afraid.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. Or buy a plant pot in auctions. They're cheap. Buy two. Alrighty. Which state's motto is manly deeds, womanly words? Which state's motto is manly deeds, womanly words?
Manly deeds, womanly words.
He already said that.
What kind of question is that?
Well, it's
There's
not
really a
motto. You don't have
state
to
that
keep it
has a
cheap.
motto of that?
Yes, there is.
There has to be a joke there someplace.
There has to be a joke there someplace. I can't imagine that I wouldn't know what it would be.
Is that
I
the
have
same
no
state
clue.
where all the women are strong and all the men are good looking?
And all the sheep are above average. Pick a state. There's only like 50 some of them.
Well, I was trying to think of a manly state that was ruled by women. Would that be like Washington, D.C.?
He suggested it's the District of Columbia. Would you agree or disagree?
I gotta disagree.
That's a very good disagreement because the District of Columbia, as far as I know, isn't really a state, but maybe more of a state of mind in this day and age.
But what a great answer. Okay, I give. What state is?
Sorry, I was typing there for Percy. The state actually is Maryland.
Maryland. Maryland. Why didn't I know that?
I always figured it'd be like Idaho or something like that.
It could have been Virginia.
Or Utah, maybe. Alrighty, so circle gets the square, strangely enough. Moving on over to Zach C. Who would you like to select next, Zach?
You know, I have no clue. I can't see where did that X go to?
Top left, isn't it?
So I can't see that high without standing up.
Yeah, it'd be the top left.
X got the square?
Well, no,
or
0?
O?
I don't know. What's that? The opposite of me.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, since I'm going to probably blow it in chunks, let's don't make it easy on giggles. Let's go with Mima.
Mima, all ready to blow chunks for Zach C here?
Oh, absolutely.
Fantastic.
What flavor would you like, Zach?
Vanilla, please.
Gross.
How about Coca-Cola flavored? As the next question is as follows.
Oh, product placement.
Coca-Cola. See, that would be giving it away, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Which cola ad campaign, Come Alive with blank, translated into German as Come Out of the Grave with blank, and when translated into Chinese, was translated as blank brings your ancestors back from the dead.
What was the first part of that question?
Yeah, let me read this one more time. Which cola ad campaign slogan was Come Alive with blank? When translated into German, that became Come Out of the Grave with blank. And when translated into Chinese, read blank brings your ancestors back from the dead.
Well, it sounds like a fabulous product.
Oh, my. Well, I don't know about bringing any of my ancestors back from the dead.
Well, I'm going out and buying a case of it as soon as she gives me an answer.
I think it was Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper, would you agree or disagree?
I'm going to disagree.
Oh, actually, as far as a guess goes, I was thinking, the doctor part, bringing the ancestors back from the dead would have been pretty good, but...
yeah, but you said the question said cola, and Dr. Pepper isn't a cola.
That is true, right, because the cola we were actually looking for was Pepsi. Come Out of the Grave with Pepsi, and Pepsi brings your ancestors back from the dead.
I'm sitting here looking at my Pepsi, sitting here by my keyboard going, ew.
I was thinking that exact same thing.
So, Gabby, X gets the square.
X
Ooh, I'm square. Next, I'm X, I'm X.
Well, yeah, we'll just cross her off for right now. Giggles. Which one of these cola nuts do you want to call upon next?
I'm going to take Steve Mack.
Steve Mack. Ready for a question?
Hit me with it.
Whoa, that'd be hard to do in there. Hang on one second. All right, Steve. Which Kellogg's cereal was first introduced in 1977, and it contained so much iron that consumers found they could pick it up and eat it with a magnet? Which Kellogg's cereal was first introduced in 1977 and contained so much iron that consumers found they could pick it up and eat it with a magnet?
I was still a teenager in 1977, and yeah, I remember doing that. It was my favorite cereal, Tony the Tiger's Frosted Flakes. They're great.
They're magnetic. Frosted Flakes, would you agree or disagree?
I can't believe I have to call Steve Mack a liar. Disagree.
Yes, evidently you could, back in 1977, you could pick up and eat your Rice Krispies with a magnet. So Circle gets the square.
But that can't be healthy.
Want more iron in your diet than Rice Krispies? You'd have to eat your own car keys to get it.
But I like Rice Krispies.
Me too. I don't think I'm ever gonna have Rice Krispies. Ever.
At least they don't bring your ancestors back from the dead.
Well, they probably changed the recipe by now, I would think.
That's
Well,
what killed them to start with.
I really hope that they change the recipe on that Coke too, because really, I'm sitting here looking at this can going, I don't want my relatives coming back from the dead.
Could you imagine the odor?
Well, all I can say is that I've drunk Pepsi for years and years, and I have yet to see one of my ancestors be brought back from the dead.
But would you recognize them?
Well, I would hope so.
All
I
all
did
meat and
once.
everything.
I think I did see a relative come back from the dead.
Moving on. Let's head on over to Zach. Zach, which one of our remaining contestants are you going to call upon next if I couldn't guess here?
Oh, let's go with, let's have a seizure.
Seizure
Ding, 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 ding.
is our secret square for today. So Zach C., if you answered this question correctly,
Yeah,
not only will you get the block there, but you will win the secret mystery prize, which is a secret mystery. Caesar, ready for your question?
Well,
Ready.
All right, Caesar. Hang on a second, I gotta find a question.
Number 7.
Make it an easy one.
In 1986, which European country introduced taxi cabs that were equipped with a device to zap unruly passengers? Once again, in 1986, what European country introduced taxi cabs that were equipped with a device designed to zap unruly passengers?
Is New York a European country now?
No.
That would be France.
Caesar suggested it might be France. Would you agree or disagree?
You know, last I heard, nobody is less disruly in France than they ever were, which is pretty disruly, so I'm going to disagree.
Ooh, unfortunately, France was the answer we were looking for.
Naturally.
So,
Oh, c'est la facette, Paula.
because if it was to go to O, it would win the game, we now go back over to Giggles, who has to, of course, call upon the same person and answer a different question in order to win our second game.
Most definitely. Going for the win.
All right, so, Seizure, one more question. Seizure, in 1992, a patent was issued for what item that would play the 1812 Overture or Handel's Messiah on contact? Once again, in 1992, a patent was issued for what item that would play the 1812 Overture or Handel's Messiah on contact?
That was a flute.
A flute. Would you agree or disagree?
I guess I'll agree.
Ooh, I think the flute might have been patented a little bit before that, assuming it was. Actually, the device we were looking for was the world's first musical condom.
I gotta get one of those.
How did that question get in there? Shame. Condom.
I would just like to take this opportunity to remind everybody that this is a PG-13 world.
Yes, we have
Wait. So X gets the square? Oh my goodness.
X can get the square as a block since she missed the question. So, we're back over to Zach C, still in the game. Which one of our remaining Celebrity MAB members would you like to call upon next?
Unicrystal, don't let me down.
Yeah, Crystal,
Why
we're
not
ready for a
do?
question.
Yep, I'm ready.
Why? According to the U.S. Patent Office and Trademark Office, According to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, an invention is sometimes the product of what? Once again, according to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, an invention is sometimes the product of what?
Sheer stupidity.
Sheer stupidity. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, the answer is obviously correct, but I think that the answer they're looking for is probably something different, so I'll disagree.
Unfortunately, according to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, an invention is sometimes the product of sheer stupidity.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't let you down. You let me down, Zach.
No, you did it.
It's a
You're right.
MAB house, a MAB house. So, circle gets the square, but I'm not sure which square that is. It's the top.
Crystal over top of me.
Right, isn't it? All right, and we're back over to Giggles.
Sorry.
She's giggling.
Come on, Francis. Ask number 7.
He would get the 2 funniest questions on the whole list.
All right, I'll do number 7 if you want me to, but I was trying to keep this PG rated.
Okay.
Those are real names.
Okay. I'm glad I'm not an announcer in that sport. Giggles, who did you call on? I'm sorry.
I didn't take anybody yet, but I'll take Brian.
Brilliant. Ready to answer a question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, minors,
Down
you
to it, Brian.
might want to plug your ears or go to another virtual world for a minute. Here we go.
They're trying to get you moderated.
All right, yeah, I know. Bryant, which of the following was not a driver in the NASCAR racing series? Once again, which of the following was not a driver in the NASCAR racing series? Cole Trickle, Dick Trickle, sorry, Lake Speed, or Lenny Pond? Once again, which of the following was not a driver in the NASCAR racing series? Was it Cole Trickle, Dick Trickle, Lake Speed, or Lenny Pond?
Oh, Francis, I'm very familiar with this person. His name is Dick Trickle.
Okay, he suggested it's Dick Trickle. Would you agree or disagree?
Oh, I'm like the hugest NASCAR fan, and I'm going to have to disagree. Dick Trickle is a real driver.
That is true.
See, I told you. Francis thinks I make this stuff up.
No, I just find it hard to read.
I actually heard his name was Richard Trickle.
That would be better. Cole Trickle was Tom Cruise's character in the movie Days of Thunder.
If we didn't behave that way on our MAB.
Yeah.
I thought Dick Trickle starred in those VD movies we saw in high school health class.
Okay.
Oh, this game is
moving right along.
Way to go.
She won. Oh my. And that completes the second round of our game, and as Gabby clears away the spent consonants and vowels and stuff, I was looking to see if there was a third, type of letter, but no, it just looks like consonants and vowels, that's all there is. We need to check in with the scoreboard. Alrighty. Wonderful game. Now, usually we play a third round for fun, so let's start off.
All big fun.
That's so true. So we'll move over to Zach C. Zach C, start us off here. Which one of our wonderful MAB?
Done. Hang on.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I choose Gabby.
Yay!
It's like some kind of bad Pokemon episode. Are you ready for this? Gabby is actually sort of not in a square, is she? She's out in front of me.
If I get the answer right, she covers all of them.
She sort of wrote the questions, though. That's kind of...
Oh, alright. Let's go to Nima.
Nima, ready for another question?
Yeah! I'm always ready.
Better find another one.
Number 11.
I could just ask the one about Richard Trickle again. Nah, I won't do that. Alrighty.
I agree.
Not yet.
Oh.
What general uttered these sadly incorrect words? Hurrah, boys! We got them! We'll finish them up and then go home to our station. Once again, what general uttered these sadly incorrect words? Hurrah, boys! We've got them! We'll finish them up and go home to our station.
Hurrah, boys, we've got them. I don't know. Oh, well, yeah. Let's go with General George Custer.
General George Custer, would you agree or disagree?
Oh, I'm going to agree. The only other answer I can come up with isn't something that was, never mind. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And you would be correct in your agreement.
Yay! I thought it was General Petraeus.
Now, he wouldn't make that good of a comment.
Alrighty.
Even he isn't that disillusioned.
So X gets the square, and we're back over to Giggles. Giggles, which one of the remaining wonderful MAB members would you like to call upon now? Or an NX MAB member, sorry.
Let's see here. I don't think Percy's been picked on. Let's grab him. Wake up. Oh, I'm sorry, you gotta type this one.
Okay, Percy, here comes your question. In 1915, what opera was made into a silent movie? In 1915, what opera was made into a silent movie? Yes, silent movie and opera. Great combination, huh? Percy's suggesting he was kind of young back then. It was probably Carmen. Would you agree with Carmen being made into a silent movie or not?
I'm gonna disagree.
And unfortunately, Carmen was made into a 1915 silent movie. So that would mean that X gets the square. Alrighty, back over to Zach C.
Unicrystal.
Unicrystal, ready for a question?
Ready.
Alright, Unicrystal. What is the name for a female fox? What is the name for a female fox? Once again, Unicrystal. No, Unicrystal. What is the name for a female fox? Did everybody's microphone just go out?
Oh, sorry, I just can't quit laughing over here.
Vixen.
What did you say? I'm sorry, Unicrystal?
Vixen.
A vixen. Would you agree or disagree?
Well, it took me a second to stop laughing because when you started to ask the question, I was afraid you were going to ask something, what do you call a female cockroach? But you didn't. So I'll go with agree.
You'd be correct in that agreement. So actually get the square. Moving on. Yeah, that's a good idea. Audience members, please don't answer the questions. Although some of our celebrity squares probably could use the help.
Yes, indeed. This one in particular.
Back over to Giggles. Which one of our wonderful MAB or ex-MAB members would you like to call upon now?
Oh, shoot. No matter which way it goes. So, who hasn't been called on? No. I'll go with Tisha.
Actually, I don't think Kate got picked.
Well, Zach's going to win either way, so I'm going with Kate then.
Oh,
thank you.
Banshee Kate, ready for a question?
I'm ready for my close-up.
Okay, Banshee Kate, who was the very first voice of Mickey Mouse? Who was the very first voice of Mickey Mouse?
Well, I was thinking, now if, back when Mickey Mouse was Steamboat Willie, they didn't have to worry about things like that. I think they had a very small staff back then, so I'm going to say that it was Walt Disney himself who was the first voice of Mickey Mouse.
Walt Disney, would you agree or disagree?
I'm going to agree.
And you would be correct in your agreement, because he did voice the very first Mickey Mouse commercial, cartoon, Steamboat Willie, way back when.
Steamboat Willie was silent. They had to give him a voice later.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure.
If you say so.
Well, they used his music.
Huh.
I always thought Mickey Mouse was just his own person.
A real mouse?
Okay.
You're totally killing the inner child in me.
Oh.
Now I'm having to stop laughing. Alright, we're back over to Zach. Which people would you like to call on next?
Gosh, decisions. I think I'm going to have another seizure.
Alright, seizure. Ready for a question?
I'm ready.
What do contestants spit in the annual contest in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma? What do the contestants spit in the annual contest in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma? And watch what your answer is, please.
God, he's so lucky he didn't ask me that.
I know.
Oh, goodness. Would that be watermelon seeds?
Watermelon seeds. Would you agree or disagree?
Oh yeah, I'm going to agree.
And you would be absolutely correct.
Yay for me!
Yay!
Get the square.
That's what I'm saying, finally.
I'm looking at the board. It looks like we're back over to Gabby. Gabby, which one of these wonderful people would you like to call on next?
He won. It's over.
How did he win? He got the bottom right, but the top right doesn't have a letter on it.
Unicrystal has an X.
Unicrystal has an X?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I can't see it from here. Interesting.
I can't either, but I know it's there.
Well, congratulations once again to all of our contestants and all the MAB and ex-MAB members, which actually our contestants fit into that category too. And once again, I'm your host, Francis Evan. I hope you guys all have an excellent superhero week. And come see the premiere of my movie on the 10th.
Before we leave, the 1K, Gabby, keep that in your coffers for your next contestants.
Thank you.
Are you handing out pods again tonight, Francis?
No, the pod spread is going quite well by itself. I no longer have to give them for free. People have discovered the wonders of pods, and they're now buying them and giving them to their own friends.
And the pods are buying them and giving them to their own friends.
You're not supposed to know about that. I'll have to deal with you later.
Yes, sir.
He's already handed them all out, in other words?
I'm not really Zach C. I'm a pod person.
Yeah.
Was there somebody I forgot to get a pod to the previous time? I can't remember.
Pods are taking over your mind.
Percy needs to come out of his silent little box. He said all he hears is the sound of the fan blowing in the background and nothing else.
Aww.
I know, it's so sad.